I love to create cards with stencils, and when you use 2 or more stencils on a card, it is twice as fun. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and once again I am honored to be the guest designer on Stencil Sunday at the Stamplorations blog. I had so much fun using 2 or more Artplorations stencils in designing my cards. I have 5 different cards to show you, and then I'm going to make a tag card step by step. I'm going to show you my cards and what Artplorations stencils I used, but all the stamps and dies you see on these cards are also from Stamplorations and are listed with their links on the Stamplorations stencil blog post. There is a link in the blog post to the description box, and you can win a prize if you comment, so be sure to go there and check it out. And of course I also have links to them in my description box. I never have enough masculine cards, and stencils make it so easy to make them. This Christmas deer stencil, of course, doesn't have to be used just for Christmas. It's perfect for masculine cards. I also used this Just Plaid stencil, and I cut 3 layers with the stencil and raised it up and had the pattern continuing from one to another, and then of course I sponged in some pretty colors and stamped in the reindeer. Actually, it's just a deer there, okay? And here's another masculine card with the deer, and also the Barley stencil from Santa Lippert, and also a square stencil from Monica Skinner. So you can create a really cool frame and just lightly sponge, getting a little bit lighter, and then double stencil in the inside for a very cool card. Now, adding various mediums and textures through Artplorations stencils can make gorgeous card. So in this one I used this Open Blooms stencil in 2 different ways. This one here is, the top layer is Maker Forte Kaleidoscope powders called Nebula and Shooting Star through the stencil. So I changed colors and did a couple there. And then in the background is Nouveau Plum Glimmer Paste through that stencil. So a couple different ways to use one stencil on a card. Once in a while I love to make mixed media cards, and this one uses a whole bunch of stencils from Artplorations. One of my favorites is the Flare Slimline stencil, and you can see that I used that there. And I also used a Square Dance stencil with some black ink, and then some of the other stencils that I showed you, the Barley. I used several kinds of Nouveau Mousse, including the Crackle. So I don't know if you can see that, but these Barley pieces here are all cracked, and then the expanding mousse from Nouveau puffs up with great texture. I just love that look. I started with a piece of watercolor paper with Nouveau shimmer powders and got that color in the background for the base, and then I just had lots of fun with different stencils, and then the stamps are also from Stamplorations. I love to make fun shaped cards and also to give gift cards for birthdays. So I'm really happy how this tag card turned out. It is obviously shaped in a tag, and it has those really cool stitches, and then when you open it, I created a pocket and I slid a gift card in, and I even double stenciled the words there, and I'm going to show you how I made that tag card. I'm using a couple different stencils on here. I use the Plaid Maker and the Just Plaid. I'm going to have those ready to go. This is the stitched tag die set that I used, and you get what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different tags. I used the largest and also a smaller one for the tag on the front. And then I have these everyday greetings clear stickers from Stamplorations, and sometimes, you know, I like to use dies, but sometimes it's just so easy just to put a clear sticker on a card. And this one has, you know, happy birthday and congratulations, really good ones to have on hand. So I also used that. And I also used a couple dies, other dies. Celebrate Big is from Stamplorations, the division they call Cutplorations. And then this Happy Happy is a happy birthday, and that is from the Everyday Sentiments die set. So I have used the largest tag, I wanted to show you that, die to create this tag card. So I've cut it out. Now you don't need to watch me die cutting, but what I did is I folded a piece of white cardstock that was about 8 by 8, and I folded it in half, and then I die cut the largest tag die out. But on the fold side, I didn't go past the cutting line. So I got the stitches, but it didn't cut this side. So now I have a tag card, and I'm just a huge fan of stitches on any die. It just adds so much interest. So that is ready to go. I'm going to do the double stenciling on the front of this card. So I just usually take some removable adhesive and tack it down a little bit. And I'm going to start with the Just Plaid stencil. And I have some of the pixie spray on the back, but I also like to tape it down with my purple tape, you know, just some removable tape to get a good, make sure it doesn't move. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to mask up here to I don't want to go past the end because I'm going to have to move it. I reuse this tape until it's... So I have two colors that blend well. I have the Tailored Expressions Blue Raspberry and the My Favorite Things Razzle Berry. And then when they combine, you get a really pretty purple. So we're going to have pink and aqua blue and then a purple on the front. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply the pink raspberry on the front of the card. Now I'm going to have to move this one, so I'm not going all the way to the top. I'm just going to line up the stencil with the lines. And mask off the bottom, although I don't think I'll even go down there. And then we're going to take the Plaid maker and apply that this way. As you can see, I have this Plaid maker stencil has been used and used and used, but they clean off well and the color doesn't ruin another card. Now I'm going to apply the blue raspberry. So it's fun to look at your stencils and then combine them with another one, and that way you stretch your crafty dollars by getting a different look each time. So the background would have been cool just with the one plaid, but I think it's even neater when you have the second plaid. So you can see the front of the card now has a double plaid background, which is very fun and bright and colorful, and I can just rub off the temporary tape roller on the back. Now I have previously cut stenciled the plaid background on a piece of aqua blue card and made a pocket for the inside of the card, and I also have the tag ready to go, and I put a couple happies on there, so it's going to say happy 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 birthday, and then celebrate big is also ready. And then I punched a couple of circles, one to reinforce that hole here when I tie the ribbon in there, and then one for the other hole, which I thought looked a little odd there, so I'm just going to add those. So we're just going to go ahead and attach all of these pieces. I have some very skinny tape, score tape on the back of the pocket. Now that can be used, of course, to add a gift card or some cash or just a special note, or you can just leave it. That's up to you, of course. So we're going to put the pocket inside there. And then if it's sticking out a little bit, I can just trim it. The tape is sticking to my scissors. There we go. And then I'm going to attach that with some glue and just put a decorative circle there rather than an open circle. Make sure we don't have a lot of glue on the back. And then this other circle is going to reinforce this, because when I put the bow through it the first time I did it, it wanted to tear a little bit when I put the ribbon through. I just thought this Celebrate Big was really fun with the bright, colorful double stenciling on there. Celebrate big. And I can see that I must have cut the edge of that C off. So I'll do that. Now you can also stencil ribbon. So I did this one in advance just to make sure it dries, but let me just show you how easy that is. If you take the temporary tape roller, which I have around here somewhere, but I'll use this one, and just put a little bit of adhesive on the back so it stays flat. And then you take a stencil. Now of course any stencil will do, but I wanted to use this just plaid one again. And it's real easy to continue the pattern from one part to another, but of course on this little piece I don't need to. And I'm going to add some of that blue ink through the stencil. And you can see how easy that was, but doesn't that make it so much more interesting than just the plain white? I just think that's a really cool look. So I have prepared the ribbon, and I will put it through here, and then I am going to tie the little tag on through. Let me see, I think I tied it first. Started to tie it. And then let's tie this. If I can get my fingers to work here, we're going to put this little cord through there and tie. So it's hanging down. Trim it off. And then we're going to pull this ribbon tighter. And trim it a little bit. And our tag card is complete. I love how this tag card turned out. You can see the really cool double stenciling along with the stenciling on the tag and the ribbon, and then when it opens up, celebrate big, and a place to put a gift card or a note. I thank Stamplorations for all the fun I had designing with their awesome stencils, dies, and stamps these 3 months, and I hope my projects inspired you to give some of them a try. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.